there's life around. Listen, listen to the desert sounds. I hear the call of a bird flying free, the song of the shifting sand. Walking across the desert with the sun beating down, the sky so blue, the land so brown. It's peaceful and still, yet there's life around. Listen, listen to the desert sounds. I hear the wind in the leaves of the date palm tree, the call of a bird flying free, the song of the shifting sand. Walking across the desert with the sun beating down, the sky so blue, the land so brown. It's peaceful and still, yet there's life around. Listen, listen to the desert sounds. I hear the music of my friends, where I soon will be. The wind in the leaves of a date palm tree, the call of a bird flying free, the song of the shifting sand.
The living desert. What does a desert look like? There are deserts in many parts of the world. Deserts can look very different. Some deserts are sandy. Other deserts are rocky. Deserts can be flat or filled with mountains. The largest desert in the world, Antarctica, is covered with ice. What do all deserts have in common? All deserts are dry. They get very little rain or snow, less than 25 centimetres a year. Because deserts are so dry, some people think of them as empty and dead. That is not true. Plants and animals can be found in every desert. The plants and animals that live in deserts need very little water. Many have special ways to store water. What are some plants that grow in the desert? Cactus plants grow in the deserts of North and South America. They have thick, waxy skin and sharp spines. Birds and other small animals build homes in and on the cactus. The saxaul is a special plant that grows in the deserts of Asia. It stores water in its bark. People who live in the desert press the saxaul bark to get drinkable water. How much of the earth is desert? 1/3 of the earth's land is desert. Every year, deserts grow larger. When trees are cut down and large farms are built and too many goats, sheep and cows eat the grass, the land gets worn out. The soil washes away. The land turns into desert. When land turns into desert, people can no longer grow food and need to leave their homes.
A desert. Deserts cover 1/5 of our planet. The most important are the Sahara Desert, the Arabian Desert, the Australian Desert, the Gobi Desert, and the Atacama Desert. But there are also two very special deserts because they are frozen. The Arctic and the Antarctic deserts. The world's largest hot desert is the famous Sahara Desert. Here, the temperatures can reach 57 degrees Celsius during the day. Now that's hot, but at night, they can drop to 10 degrees below zero. Freezing! The animals that live in the desert are also very interesting. Look at these camels. Their humps are full of fat. They are like a reservoir of moisture, and so they can go for up to 10 days without drinking. Other animals, like this lizard or this snake, prefer to hide during the day and come out at night to hunt. Deserts are also home to people like nomadic tribes that never stop travelling from one place to another. Their clothes protect them from the heat and the frequent sandstorms. What a hard life! As we said at the beginning, there are frozen deserts. They are in the polar areas of the Arctic and Antarctica. They are huge expanses of ice where it hardly rains and where it's very cold. The animals that live in frozen deserts have thick layers of fat and lots of fur or feathers to withstand the cold, like these polar bears, this Arctic fox, and these penguins.
Track 20. Sand and Stone. It was a hot day. Hassan and Ibrahim were walking across the desert to an oasis. The boys were friends, but today they were arguing. Hassan was very angry. "Ibrahim, you are so stupid!" Hassan yelled. Ibrahim felt hurt and upset. He stopped and wrote in the sand, "Today my friend yelled at me." Hassan read the words that Ibrahim wrote in the sand. He felt sorry, but he didn't say anything. The two boys walked on. Soon they came to a cool green oasis with trees, birds, and a waterhole. Ibrahim jumped in the water to cool off. Hassan rested on the shore. Suddenly Hassan saw that his friend was in trouble. "Oh no," thought Hassan. "Ibrahim is in deep water and he can't swim." Hassan shouted, "Keep calm, Ibrahim! I'm coming to help you!" Hassan swam quickly to Ibrahim. He helped Ibrahim get back to the shore. "Thank you, Hassan," said Ibrahim. Ibrahim picked up his knife. He carved these words into a rock. "Today, my friend saved my life." "I don't understand," said Hassan. "When I called you stupid, you wrote the words in the sand. But when I helped you, you carved the words in a rock." Ibrahim smiled at Hassan. "When a friend is unkind, we should write the words in the sand, so the wind can blow the words away. When a friend is kind, we should carve the words in a rock, so we can remember the kindness forever." "You are very wise, Ibrahim," said Hassan. "I'm sorry I was unkind. Thank you for being my friend."
Hello, my name is Professor Patel. I'm a herpetologist. That means I study reptiles. There are snakes and lizards of many different shapes and sizes living in deserts all over the world. Some are venomous and some are not. Today I'm going to tell you about 6 desert reptiles that I think are the most interesting. The thorny devil lives in the deserts of Australia. It has some interesting ways to protect itself from large birds and other animals that want to eat it. First, it is covered with sharp, prickly spikes. Ouch! Second, it can puff itself up like a balloon so that it looks bigger. Third, it can change colours to help it hide. The Gila monster is an unusual lizard. It is big and colourful. It eats mice and rabbits and little lizards, swallowing them whole. It stores the food as fat in its thick, short tail. Also, the Gila monster has poison in its teeth. When it's threatened, first it hisses, then it bites and chews the animal or person who is attacking it. I think the frog-eyed gecko is very cute. Do you? They live in the deserts of many Asian and Middle Eastern countries. Like other geckos, the frog-eyed gecko doesn't have eyelids, so it keeps its big eyes moist and clean by licking them with its long tongue. The shovel-snouted lizard is quite tiny. It lives in the Sahara Desert in Africa. It does a special dance to keep its feet from burning on the hot sand. First it holds up 2 feet, then it switches and holds up the other 2 feet. The shovel-snouted lizard has a special organ in its body where it can store water. That's very important in the hot, dry desert. The sidewinding adder is a venomous snake that also lives in the Sahara. It digs itself into the sand and hides with just its eyes peeking out, waiting to catch lizards to eat. It especially likes to eat shovel-snouted lizards because of the unusual organ in that lizard that stores water. It's like a built-in water bottle. Yum! The Indian sand boa is a big snake. It can be 100 centimetres long. It is sometimes called a 2-headed snake because its tail looks very much like its head. When it is threatened, the Indian sand boa hides its head and waves its tail in the air. That way, the predator will hopefully bite the snake's tail rather than its head.
Hi kids! Today we're going to learn about a very special animal, the camel. Camels are big mammals, and they're easy to spot because of their humps. There are 2 kinds of camels: dromedary camels and Bactrian camels. Dromedary camels have 1 hump. Bactrian camels have 2 humps. Dromedary camels, also called Arabian camels, live in North Africa and the Middle East. Bactrian camels, also called Asian camels, live in Central and East Asia. Camels have a long neck and a small head. And a grown-up camel can be as tall as 7 feet at the hump. Camels usually live in deserts, where it is hot and dry. They are amazing desert survivors because of their special body features. Camels can go for days, or even months without water. Their bodies store fat in humps, which they use as a source of energy when food and water are hard to find. Camels have thick coats of hair that protect them from the super hot sun during the day. and keep them warm when the desert gets cold at night. Camels have 2 rows of long eyelashes to protect their eyes from sand. Camels have 3 eyelids on each eye. The first 2 eyelids are just like ours, they blink to keep the eyes clean. The third eyelid is a translucent layer that's sliding across the eye to protect it from sand and dust during desert storms, while still letting the camel see. Their ears are small and round, with hair, to block blowing sand. Camels can close their nostrils to avoid getting sand into their noses during storms. They have long legs to help them walk across hot desert sand easily. Camels have big, wide feet that act like snowshoes, stopping them from sinking into the sand. Camels are herbivores, which means they only eat plants. They eat thorny plants, bushes, and dried grasses. But in the desert, there aren't many plants around, so camels eat whatever they can find. People who keep camels often feed them grains, like wheat and oats. Camels have tough lips and strong teeth that help them chew rough plants without getting hurt. Camels can survive for a long time without water, but when they drink, they can gulp down up to 40 gallons in one go. A male camel is called a bull. A female camel is called a cow. A baby camel is called a calf. A mother camel is pregnant for 12 to 14 months. She usually gives birth to 1 baby. Mother camels nurse their calves for up to 18 months. Calves can walk soon after they are born, but they stay close to their mother for safety and care. Camels are social animals that live in groups, called herds. The herd consists of a dominant adult male, females, and their young. Other males that have been chased out of the group form bachelor herds. Camels were tamed by people over 3,000 years ago. People in deserts ride camels and use them to carry heavy loads. Camels can carry really heavy loads, as much as 1,000 pounds, that's about 450 kilograms. They also drink camel milk and sometimes eat camel meat. Camel hair is used to make tents, blankets, rugs, clothing, and rope. Even dried camel droppings are useful. They can be burned as fuel for cooking fires. Camels are like the desert's superheroes. Strong, smart, and always ready for adventure. And that's all about camels, the amazing ships of the desert.
The camel's hump. Camels live in the deserts of Africa, Asia, and Australia. They carry people and things across the desert. Before travelling across the desert, a camel eats a lot of food and drinks a lot of water. The food is stored as fat in the hump on the camel's back. As the camel crosses the desert, it uses the fat in its hump as food and water. A camel can live for a week or more without drinking water. At the beginning of the trip, the camel's hump is big and fat. At the end of the trip, its hump is much smaller.